Okay, welcome down everyone to another episode of Those Nerds You Know. My name is Ethan.
I'm Michael.
I'm Eddie.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Woohoo! Wow, we've got an extra person
We
today.
do.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Michael. You'll remember him from the Star Wars episode that I'm certain you listened to. Because if any of the episodes you're going to listen to, you'd probably listen to that one.
We can make more of those. It's okay.
Yeah, we super can.
Plenty of them.
I can't, because I don't know very much about Star Wars.
That's
all right.
Okay. Mike is an encyclopedia, so we're good. But yeah, today we're coming at you with another movie review. The three of us, three amigos, just got done watching Jumanji.
Almost 2 months late.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's only been a month. It came out the week after The Last Jedi, so it's only been on
it's
in
probably
a
been like
theater
5
for
weeks.
about a month, and it's been rocking the box office
Between 1 and 2 months.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
man.
for good reason.
It's crazy though. It's still selling stuff out. Like I was telling Eddie, and I think I probably told you.
Yeah,
I
you told me before Eddie got there.
Last Saturday, I went to take my girlfriend to see it. We were going to see it for the first time, and we just showed up to the theater thinking we'd buy tickets because it's been out for a month. Not sold out. The time we were going to was sold out. And I was like, holy
You ridiculous, Baton Rouge.
crap! Yeah, it's absurd. And so
I mean, the movie's fantastic.
yeah,
I
it's
can
really
see
good.
why.
Yeah, no, it was.
Like, it's getting ridiculously good
Such a good
reviews.
time.
It's
Which is just
smashing the box
crazy
office.
to think that it's a reboot of an
It's
old
not even a
movie.
reboot because
It-
it's just a
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
talk about
kinda,
Alan and all that. So it is a direct sequel, sort of,
Yeah.
with just different characters
good.
20 plus years later.
Yeah,
It's kind of a reboot, though.
yeah, but I mean,
Kind
like,
of.
yeah,
It's been like 20 years.
I'd say it's what like a
reboot
soft
will.
reboot, like a reboot.
Yeah,
will.
a soft reboot,
Soft
I
reboot,
guess.
like,
is
like comparable to what X-Men did,
And Tron.
and what Tron did.
kind of.
So
Although I never saw the Tron sequel, I just
It's basically what Jumanji.
You haven't seen the Tron sequel?
I never got around to it.
Interesting.
I
It
never got
wasn't
around
that
to
great.
it.
It was
Yeah,
okay.
That's why
It was wonderful, and you should.
I heard
It was alright. It was okay.
See, I've heard more people say with Eddie's going, it's
That's
all right at best.
the most recent time
and
I've
let's
seen
be-
it, I actually watched it on a 3D television. Someone had a 3D TV. And
Although let's
That's
be real, the
fine.
original
And that
Tron was kind of
crazy.
whatever. I watched it as a kid.
It
maybe once,
aged.
and it's
Oh,
really poorly.
ages
Boy,
real
did-
hard.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
Jumanji.
What's technology?
Okay, so yeah, Jumanji. I don't know. I don't know how we don't have a set structure for reviewing stuff. Who's in this movie?
Jack Black.
Kevin Hart, The Rock, and Karen Gillan.
Yeah, all those people.
And a few other people, but
And
they
Reese
aren't as
Darby.
important.
And apparently one of the Jonas Brothers.
One of the Jonas Brothers. Yes, Nick Jonas is in it.
Blew my mind.
I was happy to see Reese Darby in it. Actually, he's. I don't know if y'all know him. He was Nigel.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy that plays Kuran in Voltron.
Oh, okay.
So it's essentially the same character. It's really good. It's really funny.
I mean, he was hilarious.
Yeah, he was a great addition. I liked him there.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's Jumanji, right? Jumanji, we know and love from when we were children. It's this game that wants you to play it, and it's got all these crazy jungle monsters. And in the original, or in the first movie,
Or otherwise known as animals.
Right?
look, albino rhinos aren't a thing, all right?
I mean, they're
White
they
rhinos are a thing.
They're
Yeah, yeah.
indigenous to Jumanji.
They just said it was
per Kevin Hart, all right?
I'm not going to trust Kevin Hart on zoology.
Man-eating rhinos. Anyways, yeah, so Jumanji is this game of basically of survival, more or less, right? Where you try to survive this time in a ridiculous jungle. And in the original movie, the first movie, it was about things coming out of the game and into our world. And this movie flips that and sends people from our world into the world of Jumanji.
Well, I mean, although in the
case
original
of
game, the
Robin
original
Williams.
movie, he got sucked in
That
and
is-
spit back out,
that is
and
a
then
fact.
the animals started leaking out
So
slowly.
that concept is already there, but yeah. The general premise from the first one is that things came out of Jumanji into our world.
Oh, you're gonna get grilled today, Ethan.
Shit. Anyways, yeah, and I love this movie.
It
I've
was
seen it twice.
delightful.
It was a
very
good
good.
time. It's no wonder it's making $700 million.
it's pushing the
$700
$800 million mark, which is
ridiculous.
It's
mind
crazy. I
blowing.
love it.
Because I remember when they first announced this movie, so many people were hating Like, it can't be as good as the original Robin Williams and blah, blah.
And see, it wasn't until today when you mentioned that to me that I was like, oh yeah, there's an original to this movie. I forgot. Like,
It's very different. It's extremely
they're
different. There's
wildly
so many
different.
And I think
movies,
that's
for
part of
sure.
the thing that makes it good.
Yeah,
Like,
they
they
didn't
could've
try
cost-
and... They could have tried to, like rip everything they could from the old one and, like, kind of sell it based on that, but they didn't. They were like, we can't remake the original. We can't, like, use Robin Williams, obviously.
Yeah.
So they just did their own thing, and it paid off.
I think it did too.
In
If
spades.
they didn't have the Jumanji name on it, I don't think
Yeah.
that we would have known that it was a Jumanji
No,
Precisely.
not at all.
sequel.
I mean, like like I said, the only real things that are the same or that carry over from one movie to the next is that Jumanji is a game that is apparently somewhat sentient and wants people to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and is
it's
somewhat
about
evil.
the jungle. Yeah, I don't know what it
Kills
is.
people.
So,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they definitely blew the doors open on the whole, I guess, lore of the game, because in the
Somewhat.
original they don't really explain much about that, of like where it came from or what goes on, because they didn't really say what happened to Alan inside the game, other than
Right.
he'd just been surviving.
Well, he was being hunted by that guy, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But he was just another character, and it was a different character than they just dealt with in this movie.
Correct. Yeah. So I I'm sure Jumanji is its own world.
Yeah.
And that this game is just a portal to it. That's in my mind. That's what's going on. I don't think the context or the story of the game that we saw in this movie could be applied to what was in the first movie. Outside of the fact
Possibly.
that it's just the same. I just think it's the same universe.
I mean, or it could have just, when the game evolved from the board game form to the video game form, it redid
I'm sure it did.
everything
It needed
in
a story
there or something.
It needed a story.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, I have to be a video game now in order to get people to play me.
Yeah.
So here's my video game story.
Which is not at all true.
But even
you
though,
know.
because even though it like
That's
had the, it still
plays
had his
board
like
games?
house. I
Board
know.
games.
We've had 2 episodes on board games, at least.
Hold on, that scene took place in the mid '90s, and
Truth.
people definitely still played board games at the
I'm sure
time.
they did. I bet you. I mean, board games have definitely gotten a bit of a
Yes,
boon lately for the past few years. But yeah,
but it's a very niche thing, and it's not just board games; it's more tabletop as a
Yeah.
whole.
truth. So let's walk through those characters.
Okay.
We've got Spencer, who's a nerd, and
We have Fridge,
Scrawny
who's the
little guy.
dork.
Yeah.
I mean, Jock. I don't know why I said dork.
who's the big jock. And they were friends when they were kids, but they're not friends now because
Because one's
Spencer's
big
not
and
cool
football
enough,
player.
yeah. Then we've got Bethany, who's the Instagram pretty girl,
Taking
Yes.
selfies.
taking selfies all day. And then we've got homegirl Martha,
Martha, yeah.
who's like a really logical. That's right.
Eddie wouldn't get that.
Ah, you wouldn't.
So we're just gonna continue leaving him in the dark.
Uh,
Explain.
BVS.
Oh, okay.
Martha
Yeah.
Wayne.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yep, we're gonna sit
I-
you down and
not-
make you watch it, both versions,
Great.
because
Excited.
you need to know, because of reasons.
Did we just become best friends? I love that.
But,
how it should have ended. Anyway,
So yeah, Spencer
oh yeah,
is
Martha.
the
She's
main character.
yeah, quote unquote main character. He's
More
the
or
one who
less.
becomes the Rock whenever they go into the game.
He's
Fridge
the-
becomes Kevin Hart, and oh gosh, Bethany becomes
Jack
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 Black.
Black, which is so good.
That's
And
my favorite part of this whole movie,
Martha becomes Ruby Roundhouse.
which is delightful.
yeah.
The Slayer of Men.
Yes, Killer Man.
Killer Man. There
Oh,
we go.
Gosh.
And so they played through the game, and
Yes.
so they and as far as all the video game stuff goes, it was. Some people, I imagine there's probably some gamers that are going to take it as they're ribbing on us and all that. Like,
Right.
no, it was a pretty accurate representation of how it works,
Yeah, I
especially
think it was
the
good.
way that kind of game is modeled from something like
Yes.
old school gaming.
Definitely.
It's
I thought it was
probably
really
my
cool.
favorite video game movie.
Yeah, I mean, I just
It's
I would play it.
leaps
hard
and
to say.
bounds better than Assassin's Creed.
wow.
That
Oh
movie was
my
I like
dreadful.
that movie.
Oh my.
That movie was
I
dreadful.
like that movie a lot.
I couldn't even finish.
I haven't
Okay.
seen
I
it.
could not
It's
finish that
good, Eddie,
movie.
don't worry
I
about
got
it.
about 30 minutes in,
I think it's
and
good.
I went and actually played the Assassin's Creed games because I needed to wash that away.
I haven't actually played Assassin's Creed, so if I watch the movie, I know.
You'll enjoy it. It'll be fun.
I would probably
Maybe?
like it more.
I liked it a lot.
Maybe.
I liked all the Spanish that was in it. Spoiler alert. But
That's the only
Spanish?
reason why you
Isn't
like
it
the movie
Italian?
Uriel.
no, so it's this one's set in the Spanish during the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's
'Cause
a
they
brand
didn't-
new
they-
assassin for
They didn't
the
want
movie.
to set it in any of the video game.
Okay, but the
world.
video games are more Italian-ish, isn't it?
There's a
Depends on
trilogy
which
of
video.
games. So the first game is set in the Middle East during one of the Crusades.
The
Not
big
Spanish.
games when it like got real popular was in
or the
Rome.
Ezio trilogy.
Okay,
That's when
that's probably what.
That's
I
when
was
it
thinking
was in
of.
Italy during the Renaissance, so the late
But they've gone
1400s.
everywhere. Most recent ones in
Italian.
Egypt. They've been in France. They've been in America during the
Yeah,
Revolution.
Revolutionary
they've been in the
America, and there was one in the Caribbean,
Yeah,
and you were a pirate. And I fell off after Unity, which was the French Revolution one.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought the movie was fine.
Jumanji.
I don't see.
I couldn't finish it. I'll
I don't know if Jumanji is Jumanji a video game movie.
No,
I would
I
like
wouldn't.
it more. I'm going to
don't-
call it one because it's better than any
I
video
don't-
game movie
I
that's
don't
ever
want to
come
call
out.
it that because I want them to do a good video game movie.
Yes,
I-
and
I-
they're making Rampage because
'Cause
that counts.
A video game movie is
That-
based
Right.
on a video game.
Right, I agree with
so-
that. Rampage will be a video game movie. The new Lara Croft movie will be a video game. Will be
And
a
they
video
I
game.
mean,
just
Tron
announced-
isn't a video game.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Tron's
Like-
like.
They just announced that they're in talks to have John Cena play Duke Nukem.
Ooh, that's kind of good.
I cannot wait. I
Yes.
hope that happens.
I'm all right with
kinda
that.
good.
I like John Cena.
That would
movies.
be-
I love it.
Freaking terrific.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're still like in talks about it because I just heard about it today. So
That's really cool.
I hope that goes through because that would be just fantastic.
So anyway, Jumanji, our ragtag team of misfits and all that nonsense. All-
Stereotypical
Yeah.
Like,
personalities.
as
All
many
end up-
stereotypical high school
yeah,
personalities
stereotypical-
crammed into
very-
detention together.
We're the Breakfast Club in
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Basically.
Characters of high school people, especially Bethany, my gosh.
Ooh, man.
But they all end up in detention at the same time for various dumb reasons.
That never happened.
Yeah.
No, never.
The only one that would happen would be like cheating. I could see people cheating and ending up in detention. But
No, I'm pretty sure.
Just-
Well, maybe the teacher would have just taken Bethany's phone.
that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I
it.
don't,
She
I don't
was
see
on
someone,
her phone
I don't see
during
someone doing
class.
that. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that was a
I
bit
don't
weird.
see-
beg to differ. I manage teenagers.
I haven't
on a
been in
daily
high school
basis.
for a while.
That's true.
but-
We've been out. Anyway,
Yeah,
regardless,
I-
the high school part of this movie is the least enjoyable part. And,
I don't know. Okay, we'll get to the ending because that was actually pretty heartwarming.
The ending's great. No, the ending's really
I
good.
found
The beginning
some
part
of the beginning
is
stuff like, all right, we got to get into it
boring.
and set up these
I'm
characters.
glad I'd seen it. I'm glad I'd seen this movie before today. That way, I knew what time I could go to the bathroom.
It was the first 15 minutes. Why did you already have to go to the bathroom? I was
Look,
wondering
bro,
that.
You just gotta know. Anyway, everybody ends up in detention together, and they find the Jumanji video.
Well, actually,
game.
we just skipped a part.
Well, we skipped the opening part, which is when we see a guy get sucked into the video.
Yeah, there was
Yeah, which
there
is
was
kind of
another kid
Right,
in the
yeah.
mid 90s.
Yeah.
Presumably, it took place
Yeah.
right after the original movie because it wound up on the beach.
Which is really weird because I'm pretty sure like they sealed it underground or something. In this,
No,
like,
no,
cavern
no.
thing that
They
were building.
threw it out, and at the end of the original Jumanji, it ended up on a beach.
Not seeing
Oh, you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
now that you say that,
Yeah,
now
because
it's like
what happened
'cause
was
some
at the
kids-
beginning of that movie, they Alan and his friend and the girl found the game buried in like a on
the
a
cavern thing.
construction
That's what
site.
I'm thinking.
It
That's
was
what
on
I'm
a
thinking.
construction
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
site, and then
Okay,
they
that's what I'm thinking.
played it.
Huh.
He got sucked in. However many years later, pops out
crazy.
movie, and then they throw it into the ocean, but it washes back up on the beach.
Yeah,
Things
but I
really
think
fruit
some
in
like
the ocean.
some African kids found it, like in the ending of the first movie, didn't
Maybe they
Like,
may
they
have just
retconned
done
that,
some
it's fine.
retconning, or maybe Jumanji. Maybe there's another adventure that happened, and it whatever.
Maybe there was a straight to DVD sequel that we never got.
they?
VHS sequel.
Maybe. I wouldn't put it past
It would have definitely been VHS.
Columbia Pictures.
But yeah, so yeah, then
there
someone
was the
found
third.
it, or some guy found it and brought it home to his teenage son, who was not interested in playing at all.
Because it was a board game.
Right.
And he was-
then the board game saw him play a video game, and he was like, "I'll show this kid," and it became a
what's
video
up.
game.
Now, why he didn't immediately freak out and be like, I should probably burn this thing,
No.
because
Hey, it's a video game.
that was definitely not a video game cartridge. This morning.
Could have been a dream. He woke up from a dead sleep to do it. Maybe he was just going along with the dream.
Maybe that's what he thought. And then he winds up
sucked
in
into
the game.
Jumanji.
You know, just like the first
like
movie.
a sucker.
It's like they start playing it, and then the kid gets sucked into the movie.
Yeah.
Or the game, rather.
Yeah.
So but
anyway,
he didn't have a girlfriend to run away and scream. And
right. Fast forward 21 years later, and we have... the kids are in detention,
right.
And
they picked up the video game thing out of a donation box that was in their school basement for some reason.
Because why not? I don't know. They don't explain how it got there, but it just did.
It's all right.
I think they were doing a charity thing or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
I wasn't really paying attention.
Well, no, they just don't explain how the game itself wound up at the school.
Because it wants to be found.
Well, the box said donation on it, so...
okay.
Yeah, I imagine it was probably donated by the parents of Homeboy, too.
Yeah. Because they had no idea what happened to their child. So they were like, whatever, here, take our
He's
stuff.
not sucked into this video game. I know that.
There's no way. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
It looked like an Atari.
It was kind of a mix between a couple different...
With like actual controllers, like Nintendo controllers.
No, the console itself was probably just some prop they whipped up. But
what is this? Some old Nintendo? Like, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Name drop. Nintendo's gonna sue you.
Right? They'll sue you over anything.
Did you see all the product placements and things?
I did. I saw an Uncharted poster in that kid's room.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a Last Guardian poster as well.
Yep.
And then, oh gosh, what was?
And then all the stuff in Alex's room in the 90s, I was having a good time. But
yeah.
So he's a metalhead, and he was wearing a Metallica shirt when Metallica was still good, because mid-90s was when they started sucking.
Stir the pot,
but
Michael.
I could do an entire video on why Metallica sucks now, but this isn't those music guys, you know. But yeah, so he gets sucked in at detention, and
gotcha.
Fridge finds the game, which is weird because later on in the game Fridge finds it because he was like,
that's right, he did find it. That's right.
And then later on he blames Spencer for their situation, but he's the one that found the game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
True. Anyway, they all pick characters based off of short descriptions of them. They all get sucked into this game once they pick their character, and all the hilarity ensues of them figuring out who each other are, they're on different bodies, and it's just great. It's a good time. We've got Spencer, who becomes Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dr. Smolder Bravestone.
Yes.
Really good.
Just ridiculous. I'm gonna actually double check the names because I wanna. Yeah. I want to be correct on this.
Well, going back before we get to the characters, since he's looking it up, I thought it interesting that there were 5 characters that they could choose from, and there's like 4 controllers. How could there have been a fifth?
Maybe
player,
we just didn't see the 5th controller.
Maybe, but video games
because they
don't normally have
because they
5 ports.
Yeah, that is kind of weird though.
But
they
couldn't select. They couldn't select one.
It's probably that it was just. Yeah, it was probably that just had 5 playable characters.
Yeah. Okay.
You could only pick from 4.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they couldn't choose the one that was already taken, obviously, by the kid that's still stuck in there for 20 years.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is Dr.
Smolder Bravestone, and then Karen Gillan is Ruby Roundhouse, like you said. And then Kevin Hart becomes Moose Finbar.
Moose Finbar.
Even though he thinks it's Mouse. Or, no, they later revealed it's Mouse is the nickname.
Mm-hmm,
Counterpoint, now that I'm thinking about it. They needed all those characters to finish the game.
Yeah.
Technically. Well, maybe they only needed like 3. Yeah. I don't know.
No.
Nope. They make it very clear that everyone throughout the movie is like, we need each other.
I don't know. Jumanji likes screwing people over. Maybe that was its plan.
Jumanji's a twisted jerk.
Like, you need all 5 of these characters, but you only got 4 controllers.
Good luck, nerds.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few video games where you can change your character in the game, like mid-game. So
maybe so.
Why not?
Maybe that's what it is.
It's like Super Mario Brothers 2 or something.
And Jack Black's character was Shelley. Professor Shelley something.
Osborne, I think it was.
Curvy genius.
The curvy genius. But she thinks it's gonna be a hot chick because it's curvy.
Yeah.
And Shelley.
It's Shelley.
Feminine name.
But it's short for Sheldon. Then.
Sheldon must be short for Sheldon. Why?
Whoops.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
And then they take a little while to orient themselves and figure out how to work their bodies.
In the meantime, someone dies.
Immediately.
we see their life tattoos.
Yeah, they start to figure that out.
They revealed that in the trailer, so it doesn't really matter. We were all on board with that. And yeah, they start making their way through Jumanji, and it's hilarious and a lot of fun. We get introduced shortly after that to Nigel, who's the NPC guide character that tells you what's going on, orients you, lets you know the core purpose or what's the premise of the game.
Yeah.
And the goal in mind.
Yeah, goal, that's the word I was
His delivery was the fact that he was able to just keep saying it the same way every really time was just.
They realize he's an NPC because he just reacts the same way to everyone and repeats the same.
And with Kevin Hart in the back, it's got to be hard to focus.
Oh yeah, because Kevin Hart laughs at his own jokes. I stopped watching his stand up a while ago, but man, his first few, he just laughed at.
I watched the interview that they did. It essentially ended up being they interviewed Jack Black, The Rock, and Kevin all at the same time.
Oh god, that had to have been hilarious.
They had each of them imitate one of the other people. So Jack Black did the interview as if he was The Rock. The Rock did it as if he was
Kevin Hart.
And Kevin did it as if he was Jack Black. And
That's
it was
hilarious.
So funny. It's such a good time.
I can't imagine how many takes that they would have to
I imagine being on set with
them
them would have been so great.
Because it was great.
So
like
funny.
each delivery, like in this movie, the interactions were amazing.
The interactions with the characters is
that's what made this movie. Because the story was whatever. Like the bad guy was whatever.
Was general.
He was a plot device to kind of
basic.
Just up the danger.
It was a video game. It was an old adventure video game.
Yeah.
Here's a thing. Go do this thing with
Here's your MacGuffin. Go.
Yeah.
And
fight win.
But yeah, it's definitely the characters that make this movie, and the comedy is just on point throughout.
It's super good. It really is. Jack Black. All of my favorite bits are with Jack Black. He's so funny. He's great. And the interactions with The Rock and Kevin Hart are so genuine
at times too.
And funny.
But they're apparently friends in real life.
Oh yeah, they do tons of stuff together.
They've also
done other movies.
Yeah, they've done. I watched Central Intelligence, which was also very funny. Oh gosh, yeah.
But yeah,
they're a good pair.
Yeah, they're gonna do. They make money off of it. So
throw Jack Black in the mix. It's like
Jack Black. He hasn't done much in recent years, but what he has done was great. I don't know if you guys saw the Goosebumps movie.
I really want to.
That Goosebumps movie was delightful.
I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. I put it on my list when it was, but now it's not.
Maybe. I know the series still is because I was watching a few episodes just the other night just because I love that show.
Goosebumps. Why not?
Right? I was just up and I was like, I don't have anything else to watch right now.
Yep. Like you mentioned, Michael, there's some heartwarming parts. I think this movie is part of what makes this movie so cool is that it's very, very balanced. Mm-hmm. There's a good bit of action. There's a whole lot of comedy, but there's also quite a bit of like heartwarming moments and there's great friendship moments. I love friendship moments.
That's definitely what. Their interactions and their character development throughout the movie definitely make it.
Yeah,
it did.
Super duper good. We get to all learn about each other and become besties. And learn important lessons, I guess, by the end of it. But I think that's cool.
And a lot of them are a little cliched and things we've seen before, but it's just the delivery and the way it's performed is what made it work.
The people in this movie make it work really well. We talked about the video game humor in it, or the video game stuff in it. There's plenty of video game stuff in it, and I think obviously it's not alienating people because this movie's blowing up. Mm-hmm. So I was
just talking about those rando.
No. I know what you mean. I was
nerds on the internet are.
I was wondering if it might be sort of a barrier to older people who haven't played video games,
maybe,
or just the general public that doesn't play them. But I don't think it is because they explain some of it. Because you've got Spencer there to be like, "Oh, this is an NPC. That's how that works."
He's the video game guy. Like he makes very clear that's the thing I do. I play video games.
It's good comedy. Yeah. In general, and then if you are a video game person, that just enhances your personal experience.
I thought it was hilarious.
I think one of the bigger things in it is like your immersion wasn't broken, that this was not like an actual jungle area. It was actually a video game, and they say that constantly through the movie. And I think that's a good connection that they did with the writing.
Yes, I agree.
It's like Kevin's like, I hate this game.
Yeah,
I hate this game. Like every 5 minutes.
It allows you to let go of certain things, I think, and help suspend your disbelief, which is really cool. So what we get Nigel. He's like, here, there's this jewel thing, and it runs all of Jumanji, and it's been taken.
At least it runs or somehow controls all the animals.
It allows. I think it maintains the peace of Jumanji, is what we understand, and I guess controls the animals more or less. and whoever takes it gets consumed by darkness, and apparently also has powers over animals. And
it stays with
those
them. Yeah,
powers.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought that the
jewel.
whole time. I was like,
why does he still have this power?
I guess it's just whoever initially steals it. They don't explicitly say it, but it's just
with
kind of
the power, and then the jewel doesn't matter anymore, but putting the jewel back and saying Jumanji will fix everything.
Fix everything, yeah.
Gotcha. So, anyways, bad guy, he's crawling with all kinds of nasties.
All over.
Yeah, like that was definitely a little
the first
gross.
time when I was watching it the first time I saw the tarantula like go into his clothes, I was like, oh, he's gonna be covered in bugs.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Here comes the centipede.
The centipede like, right out of his ear.
Oh, it's going into his ear.
Yeah, and
gnarly.
Yeah, we all just like
collectively.
That's
cringe.
no fun, but like I've seen it so many times at this point. I'm just like, I know this is the thing they're gonna use to try and freak me out, so I'm just gonna relax.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff in enough horror movies.
No.
But even still, it's never not gross.
Still gross.
And that's definitely one of those things that probably scares the crap out of little kids.
Oh yeah,
it's been gross since Men in Black. So.
And then, so they start kind of discovering their powers while they're going on this adventure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They escape the hippo area.
Yeah.
This guy gets in the jeep. They get out of the jeep. They start learning about all their strengths and weaknesses.
They do the reboot.
My humongous pet.
That's what that's from. I forgot about that.
Yeah, reboot. So just chest tap.
Have you ever gone back and watched Reboot?
No, I don't really want to.
No,
I want
don't.
to imagine the goodness that it was.
I saw a video of like it was this day today. It was released. And
it does not.
Oh my god! Yeah, that animation does not.
No, it makes me want to watch. Wow. Did you watch the Johnny Quest?
Yes,
it makes me want to watch that again. See how bad that must be.
Oh, that's got to be terrible too.
Gosh.
There was another show in that same vein with that same animation. I can't remember the name of it. It was
Max
just like
Steel was like
no, but no, I'm talking about from when we were kids.
I'm pretty sure that was from that time, right?
No, Max Steel.
Yeah,
that was a new thing. No, I remember when I was.
No, I mean it's recently been rebooted.
Oh, was another thing before?
I'm pretty sure there was one before.
Because they made the movie, but they also made a
very,
TV
very
show.
similar. Like it was basically just like an excuse to sell a
toy. It was this extreme sports guy, and he was like almost James Bondy kind of.
That sounds very familiar. Yeah.
I can't remember. If somebody knows, comment please and tell us because I cannot remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in that same vein, that weird CG, early
like,
cartoon CG.
When you first see it, like when we were watching it as kids, it's like, man, this is so cool. This is the coolest thing ever.
But yeah, I imagine that shouldn't hold up either.
Damn.
What?
This looks bad. This was like
the mid-90s had so much.
Like,
Robot Chicken at least knows that it's just claymation.
Precisely.
And toys.
Yeah. And action
figures. They own it for the comedic purposes. They're not taking themselves seriously.
Yeah, no, this was...
God, I haven't watched Robot Chicken in so long. Is that show still going?
Probably.
I hope not.
I hope so, because they can probably make that show for dirt cheap, I imagine. Just like a lot of the shows on Adult Swim, I imagine. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
What were we talking about?
Jumanji. The reboot thing that they were doing.
That's what we got. Yeah, so they're checking out their powers. Of course, The Rock has no weaknesses. So they all have powers and weaknesses, which are really interesting. But that's cool because it allows you to understand that they have to work as a team in order to get this thing done. Because you got the cartographer, the map doctor, who
I'm a map doctor,
who is also a paleontologist, and they bring this up and never used it.
They didn't need it.
That's true, but I mean, they also didn't use Tai Chi.
That's true.
And they really only used
the dance fighting.
Well,
no,
she did like drop kick someone off of the motorcycle.
Yeah, that was the first time. That wasn't the dance fighting, but that was.
It's also not Tai Chi. So
that was some kind of
not waterbending.
Some kind of martial art.
So that's fine. But they have all these different things that allow them to get through the game. We learn, Kevin Hart's character has zoology and carry stuff, so he's in charge of the
he's the weapons valet.
Has expanded inventory.
Yes,
that was great. I do love that they had that joke because he pulled the bolt cutters out.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Pulling them out, like wow. And I like that he kept listing off random stuff at one point. Like, what do you think?
Shoelaces, whatever you need, I got it.
It's like he's got everything.
It's so funny.
That's fantastic. And they just kind of played it up that it all fits in that bag, like Hermione's bag.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then we get to see at least one weakness from everyone, I think, right? Except maybe
except Bravestone, but
No,
it's
not
mostly
Bravestone.
just
Who
him.
am I thinking of? Shelly. What were her weaknesses?
Lack of endurance.
And
They kind of.
And one other thing.
No, it was just endurance.
Just endurance. Okay.
I think it was one.
Nope.
Maybe one.
It
other
was
thing.
just one thing. I promise. It was just one.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
But yeah,
I don't remember them
it
playing
was.
that
There were
up
times when
really
they were
well.
running and they were kind of like behind, and I think she fell at one
Kevin
point.
was. Oh yeah, she did fall. That's true.
Like, yeah.
There's a couple of times where she's fallen. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. It's interesting to say she because they all refer to her as she as well.
Yes,
It's Jack
throughout
Black
the whole
time.
game.
It's so funny.
These things are crazy.
Yeah, no, my two favorite bits are when she's discovering her penis for the first time.
Yeah, they
It's
have to teach her how to
hilarious.
pee. I don't know why
Oh
they
my
have to pee in a
gosh.
video game,
It's
but
so
okay.
funny.
No, it was just the joke.
Right,
That
yeah.
was
But
there.
It's
yeah.
fine. But it was
But
like to me, this was like the perfect context to be able to have penis jokes because I'm not a huge fan of penis jokes.
No,
but
no.
when you get this person who's never had one before and then has to
Suddenly,
use one, it's like that's great. I love that.
I
It's so
actually
funny.
almost fell out of my chair laughing.
Yeah, no. You never look. That's a thing. You don't look.
Be
Remember
sure
to aim.
Yes. And you keep talking about aiming for. What happened to you? I love that. That was the part I liked.
Do we have to talk about that in the company?
It's so good. And then my other favorite bit was when she's teaching Martha how to flirt. That's watching Jack Black do that was so good. I was
Oh god.
So
and it was so accurate.
oh gosh, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, at this point, where are we at in the plot?
They're making their way to the
right.
bazaar.
We
So
found that only one person can read the map. That's the cartographer.
Yeah,
They
so
get
use her
attacked
power.
by Mad Max people.
Oh yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people on motorbikes with
In a
guns
jungle.
strapped to their motorbikes. Like they're not holding guns; the guns are on their motorcycles.
Not to mention the grenade launcher.
yeah, grenade launchers,
flamethrower,
flamethrowers,
yeah.
all these different things that
It
are
was
just attached to
great.
their vehicles. It's real fun.
They went all out.
Yeah. They killed them
straight
with
Max
a
Max.
boomerang. That's a good get. That's a good joke.
One of brave guys.
Yeah, Bravestone's
Bravestone's abilities.
skills, strengths is
I got a
boomerang.
hacky sack. It's so good. I love all the clips in this movie. It's so fun.
Yeah,
That happens. They jump into the water. They get saved. They manage to get out of that. Another person dies. That's when they figure out that their tattoos are their lives.
start disappearing.
And then-
Yeah, so they make their way to the bazaar
Right.
where they're supposed to find the missing piece.
Before that, we have an altercation between Bravestone and Moose.
Yeah, that's right.
Spencer and Fridge are just basically
Yeah,
reconciling differences.
Yeah,
by
they're
having a man fight.
or well, they're not even reconciling at that point. They're just really kind of opening up what happened and why they drifted apart as friends.
Right, yeah. And then they get in a fight. Homeboy
Yeah,
dies.
pushes
loses
him
one
off
of
a
his
cliff.
lives,
He's
then-
like, yeah, he's got another life
and he
left anyways.
beats the crap out of yeah. It's really good.
Watching
to get
Kevin
him-
Hart just try and
you slap me?
slap
But it's also a moment
the
when
rock
like,
around.
that's when Spencer's like, hey, it doesn't matter if we don't like one another, we
Have to
to
work
depend
together,
on each
yeah.
other, which is cool. That's good. Then we get to the bazaar, which is fun. That's when we get the scene from the trailer when Homeboy eats cake.
And
I love
explodes.
how much extra there is to that. That was not
Yes.
in the trailer.
That was
so funny.
So
What is this?
you didn't think like
It's cake.
because I saw that. Yeah, you see that
I guess
in
I
the
forgot what it
trailer.
tastes like. You forgot what cake tastes like. So funny.
I haven't had carbs in so long.
One of the
Yes.
things that I found interesting about the bazaar as well is the extras.
Mm-hmm.
The extras were really interesting because there were like biker guys like in different
Yeah,
spaces.
it was
Like
yeah,
not just the Mad Max guys, but
Right.
actual like extras.
Yeah.
so many different.
Yeah.
It was such a mixed bag of people.
Yeah, it was a
It's
strange
weird.
amount of people, yeah. It
Like
was interesting.
honestly, one of the guys, he was only in it for like one shot, but he looked like my friend's boyfriend. I was like, Luis, is that you? When did you make it out to Hawaii?
It's a fun scene. It's another scene where we have more NPCs.
Yeah, they play up that little bit again,
Yeah.
which didn't get old when you think it might.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was still fun.
Yeah.
The little kid only acknowledged Braves.
Yep.
The Aladdin boy, and then
gosh.
repeated what he said again
Yes.
to them.
Yes. Which would have also been frustrating because I imagine the pilot guy probably would have been through a lot of things where
Yeah, he
they either
probably
wouldn't have talked to him or they only would have talked. Like I guess they only would have been saying Bravestone. Maybe I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's one thing I did think. It was like, is he able to talk to anybody? Is
Also-
he losing his mind?
Also, he got to the third level by himself, which is crazy.
Well, no, he admitted that there were things that he couldn't accomplish on his own, like through the bazaar and all that, like that little,
Right, but he at
like
least
that sewer area
he
that.
at least didn't get eaten by hippos. and didn't get killed by all the motorcycle people, and apparently had a run-in with them because they know who he is.
Yeah.
And
well, they know the character. They know all. They seem to know all the characters,
but they also know that he's been hiding.
True. Yeah.
And he got to the he didn't lose lives until he got to the transportation ship.
Yeah.
And lost 2. And was like,
two
nope.
in a row. And he was like, nah, I'm not.
Yeah, he kind of whistles out. And then, but yeah, the pilot guy is the
That's Nick
kid
Jonas.
from the 90s who got sucked in. That's the one he selected.
And we meet him after... Well,
after they have an altercation in the bazaar.
Altercation in the bazaar, which is preceded by the Black Mamba. The snake. Which is a cool
Which is
moment.
the mini game that they had to do.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Where
they all kind of participated. We had a strong guy take the lid off. We had a
Jack Black
Instagram girl try and stare at it. Didn't work.
Stare down a Black Mamba.
Then we had another girl to be scared as a target. And
she was, her weakness was venom.
Weakness venom, yeah. Which I'm like, why are you in the room? Why don't you just
back out?
Why are you that close to the snake?
You will guaranteed die from a snake bite.
Whoops.
But yeah, they got it, and the zoologist proved his zoology.
And
snapped the
ripped
off
teeth out of a snake.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No animals were
Killing
harmed in this movie.
Yeah, apparently. Hopefully.
Because it was CGI.
I guarantee.
Yeah. But that was another heartwarming moment where we were like, you learned something and you did something and you saved me. Yay.
I can do things.
Go team moment. After which we watched Spencer just beat the crap out of just 8 guards or whoever these people are. Super fun. Just him realizing that he can do all this, like what his strengths are.
And then he's talking through. He's like, dodge, parry, uppercut.
Because earlier he had been playing a fighting game.
Yeah, he was playing Street Fighter and losing horribly.
Yeah.
More product placement. Head smash.
But out of the
wall toss.
Out of the basket, they took the elephant figure, which was actually a piece of the game of the board game. Yeah. Okay. It was just enlarged.
It was one of the characters.
I saw that and I was like, "That's cool."
All of the Easter eggs were lost on me.
Yeah.
The only thing I really gathered from it the first time I watched it was, and this time that I watched it was Robin Williams' character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, the missing piece is the other guy," and I knew that, and I was like, "That's the other character. That's neat. That's cool how they did that."
That's really cool.
But why would that be a part of the game? The plot itself.
What
the thing? The missing piece seemed to be like a quest item, you know. I guess they could say like the piece wouldn't have had to be there. If they could have gotten if they see the elephant and begin to climb or whatever that they said.
Yes,
anyway.
That's true. That was what was necessary.
Yeah.
Also, could be a living game. It could be changed.
Yeah. So. Clearly, this thing is magical. So
look, there needs to be logic here.
Also,
there needs to be science and facts.
What happened to the other piece of the map, and why was it missing?
It's just a red herring.
This is a ripped up map.
It's a red herring.
I guess,
yeah. It was just
like, oh, the missing piece is not what you think. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, well.
But I mean, they even talk. They're like, I can't see what's on the other side of this thing, and then like we get there, and then you see it. It's on the map.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, it's because they're discovering the different parts, just like in some games, you're only able to access the map once you've been there.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of another video game thing.
Thanks, World of Warcraft.
Enter Nick Jonas, the pilot. He saves
I didn't realize that was Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the Jonas Brothers by name, so. But then I saw Jonas. I'm like, wait, and the credits. I'm like, wait a minute, that was a Jonas brother.
That was him. He saves them from being shot with a smoke screen and a quick escape.
Guides them through the tunnels,
through
the dungeon, I guess.
Come out
the
of
dungeon crawls.
Come out of like a graffitied outhouse.
Yeah.
All this stuff was
really
under
fun.
the busy bazaar too.
Somehow they walked straight up to that thing too. That was the one physics thing I was confused about. But then I was like, whatever, video game. Because they're underground the whole time, but they walk straight up to that door as a group. They don't climb up to it.
Yeah, that's true. I did notice that as well.
But
I was like, that must have been like
a video game.
level
it was a
thing.
video game thing, and I thought about it for a second, and I was like, you know what?
I was like,
that's
oh wait,
pretty
we're
funny.
in a video game. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, it's really good. Because I mean, like we watched a boomerang explode 4 people.
Yes, somehow.
Or they just
literally explode because they went up in flames.
Yes,
so they just boom, boom.
So we get through there. We get to the house that Robert Williams' character Alan. What was his last name? Alan something built.
Reeks or something.
Reeks was there. Alex's last name.
Oh, you're right.
It was the freak house.
Alex been hanging out in Alan's old place, making margaritas, which is one of his strengths.
Apparently,
his strengths are apparently margaritas,
That'd be me.
flying, And then his weakness is mosquitoes.
Which is also weird to be in a jungle, which you will have undoubtedly multiple mosquito bites.
I don't know where he got that blender. That's the biggest thing I call shenanigans.
I imagine he probably goes back and forth to the bazaar quite a bit.
Okay, but that blender was brand new.
There you go, I'm gonna do a brand new blender.
What?
It's fine.
That's the thing I call most BS on. It's like, how is he using this blender that definitely has to be plugged in somewhere?
That's a video game. They also had, like, you know, every form of transportation you can think of.
Right.
They did have a school bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
but
that's 8-player.
The little stereo.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
So yeah, we get to this point where they have to get to the transportation shed. They have to get good transportation out of the shed so they can get across the canyon and get to the next part of the game. Super interesting part. This is when Jack Black has to teach Martha how to flirt so they can distract the guards while the rest of them go in and get the transportation they need. So good, so funny.
And that bit went on for a good little while.
Oh yes, it did.
And I was dying for every second of it. Oh. Holy crap.
Because while that was happening, they were trying to infiltrate and like trying to decide how to get there to the door that's on the side by distracting
so we
the
get
guards.
the bolt cutters that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, he pulls the bolt cutters out of.
Oh, that's also when we find out that that's when the cast finds out that Alex is Alex Reeks.
Yes.
And when we drop the bomb on him that he's been there for 20 years.
Yeah, they start piecing it together because he's starting to talk. He's talking.
Yeah, he talks
weird. I guess I thought
I noticed a couple of
still
strange
talk that
things.
way.
I don't know. He said
like
when they first met them, he said "my bad," and I was like, I don't feel like that was something that they used in the mid-90s. And then later on he says things
like
the bomb, fly, jiggy with it, and Cindy Crawford.
He's using Cindy Crawford as a standard of beauty.
Of hotness, yeah. And everybody's like, what year do you think it is? Because earlier he had said he'd only been there for a couple of months.
Yeah, because he said time was weird there, so he just assumed it had probably been a few months. And then they dropped the bombshell on him that you've been here for 20 years, and he.
Yeah, it was a rough moment.
It was a really.
But which is good because it sets up good parts later when he's doubting himself and these things like that. And we get good inner conflict, I think, from that. Yeah. Which is fun and necessary, I think. Again, I like how balanced this movie is. It's really cool. So we watch this chick try and flirt with the soldiers
very badly,
which does not work, especially since they're not. We also see again that these are just NPCs. They're not designed to be flirted with.
Yeah,
it's like they just keep asking her,
why are you lost out here?
Yeah, what are you doing out here by yourself?
And then they almost notice them cutting their way in through the fence.
And then she activates her powers by telling herself she's a badass. And then the music starts.
Ooh, baby,
yes, that's so good. And then she beats them by dance fighting.
And then the Rock goes outside to try and help, sees that she is just handling them.
You got this.
And he just turns right around.
He's like, the door behind him and everything. It's so fun. Oh, it's good. I liked it a lot.
And
yes, queen. I love that. I love it so much.
Please, people, give me a movie of just that Jack Black character.
It's good.
By
the way, if you've gotten this far into the pod and you haven't seen this movie, go see this movie. Go give it your money. It's worth it.
It definitely deserves your money.
Oh. But yeah, so they get transportation. They convince the pilot to be a pilot again because he's freaking out because he's been stuck here for 20 years and doesn't want to die.
And he only has one life left.
Yeah, he only has one life left. They convince him to do so, and they get in this helicopter and they fly out. But just like everything else I think we've seen in this movie, nothing's great for too long. Like almost immediately, they have a malfunction in the helicopter.
No, well, it wasn't a malfunction. They got the helicopter got shot hit by a grenade or something.
I think
it was a heavy artillery.
And it knocked something off.
Yeah, it knocked this little piece off on the rotor, and they had
which is what made them go up and down. Yeah. And so Bravestone had to climb out of it and hook it back together.
Fix a moving helicopter.
The problem was they were being chased by albino rhinos. Indigenous man-eating rhinos.
Dude, yeah. They're indigenous
to Jumanji.
They're big and they're dumb and they eat people. Yeah.
The most scientific description of an animal.
He was drunk and scared.
He should not have been that drunk. I'm sorry.
He was real tiny. Kevin Hart's not a big man.
Yeah, those margaritas were tiny. Okay,
but
they were strong margaritas.
Indeed, margaritas were his strength.
It must have been all tequila.
And he had at least 3.
He enjoyed them at least.
It did.
He's like, hey, you gonna finish that margarita?
But yeah, so they're flying down and
they get through that, right? So they connect the piece that was broken at the last moment. They pull up, but when they pull up, Finbar drops.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's character drops the
jewel
out of him.
Falls out of his bag, falls right back down where they were.
Because nothing else fell out, but whatever.
Come on, man. Only important stuff's gonna fall out.
Yeah, well, it's technically a key item for this quest,
Right.
so
Yeah,
why would it fall out anyway? Video games, come on,
video games,
Jumanji.
get your stuff together.
I imagine there's parts in video games where you're forced to lose something. You gotta go back and pick something up, or forced to continue on with something else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you can't drop them. That's the thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just that part is part of the story of it.
Anyways,
but yeah, so they drop
that
it.
happens. They have to go back, and they creatively. I like the ways that people lose their lives in this.
Yeah, they're very well. There's only one time someone got shot. That wasn't the most. That was probably the most anticlimactic one.
She turned into a splatter of blood.
Yeah, she just kind of turned
into a mist of blood when she got bit by snakes as well.
Yeah. Well, so did Kevin Hart's character. He just got a splat when he ate the cake.
Well, he exploded.
Kind of exploded. Yeah,
that was
very.
We saw dust
much
everywhere.
More pyro.
Yeah, or maybe it was just because they were around everything. I don't know. Because all the other ones that were out in the open. So bad.
Oh, his strength is climbing.
Yeah, climbing's one of his strengths.
Cake makes me explode.
So funny.
Oh god, I need to see it again.
I wonder how specific that weakness is. Like, if he were to have king cake, would he explode?
It's a cake.
Probably.
If it's called cake.
Maybe if it's like flan or something.
What if it was ice cream?
I don't think flan's a cake, is it? Some kind of pastry.
Where are we at this point? So they
Danish or something.
Yeah, so they drop the jewel, so they circle back around, and the Spencer decides that
he's going to use them.
The rhinos are circling the jewel because they're protecting it, and so he pushes Kevin Hart's character out to distract the rhinos, and then they swoop in.
Yep. Get it? And then it was really cool because they also had to plan for and think of the way someone enters the game. He was going to fall from the sky again, so they had to turn the helicopter sideways.
Which is also very tension-oriented.
Yes.
It's there's a giant blade spinning very fast.
That was,
turn the crap out of that thing.
Yeah, I don't think... they ignored physics on that one, I'm just saying.
Yep. And they went to get to the next spot. Everything's jolly and good again.
And then
for
Kevin Hart's
only a second.
Well, no, they're all congratulating each other except for the guy that just lost a life, and then he got mad.
But he's also the one who dropped the jewel. So,
so they kind of moved past it.
Then we get a mosquito on Homeboy, who's witnesses mosquitoes.
Yep.
He only has 1 life left, and it's real tense for a moment. And
he didn't explode though.
Nope.
No.
Well, he didn't fully die. He was fading
all
away.
The other, which was also weird.
Well,
everybody else explodes.
Well, I mean, even Martha,
everyone had a second.
Everyone had a bit. Martha had a bit.
She got shot.
She got shot.
And then they jump over the waterfall.
Okay, all right.
And then they swim up to the shore, and then she's like, "They got me," and then she explodes.
Yeah.
So they've got.
And they had a conversation with Kevin Hart with his cake.
Yeah, they had a whole conversation.
Yeah, he was freaking out.
Yeah, that's
right.
He was like, "Oh no, it's
Am I still black? Yeah,
still black.
We're good. It's cool. It's good. Maybe it just meant that I love eating cake.
Maybe I just can't resist it."
And he just blew.
The snake bite was really fast though.
It was rather quick, but I think that was
plot oriented.
Yeah,
sure.
It's just like she had to make a quick escape. So she was like,
Yeah.
"Bite me."
Bite me.
Well, it bit her. She stood for a second. More.
But it wasn't as long as the others.
It wasn't a drawn out one.
Anywho,
she metaphorically gave him the middle finger and then exploded.
Homeboy gets bit by this mosquito at this point in the movie.
Yeah.
And
he falls down.
Everyone's freaking out because he only has 1 life left, so he's about to die. And we discovered that through CPR.
You can transfer lives over.
One of your lives. And
why were there no healing potions in this game? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
every video game has a way to get more lives.
Med pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see that, man.
This is nightmare mode for this game.
Yeah, I guess so.
No extra lives.
Rogue.
Yeah, so they revive him.
That happens. Where do we go from there?
They start Bethany or Jack
It
Black's
just kind of
character.
cuts from there. Right?
Yeah, they talk and she gets to know Alex and they're making their way. She starts getting a crush on him.
Right. This is also when we develop the love between Spencer and Martha. They declare their like for one another.
I am a nerd.
They're super.
I'm a nerd. And they have the best first kiss ever.
Oh, it was so awkward, but it was so great.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was a good time. And
then they were about to get professional, but Kevin Hart interrupts.
He's like, "Come on, guys! I don't want to see this.
Yep.
That when I'm about to die. Not today."
Finbar finds the Jaguar, or sees it in the distance, and they move into the final bits of the movie. This is the moment we just mentioned where they find a statue of an elephant in front of the path to the Jaguar. So like, oh, we must have to climb from here. So he tries to go through the trees, gets scared by a squirrel, falls down and gets
interesting forest a jungle animal.
Whatever.
Eaten by a jaguar.
Animals all over the place. I don't think there would have been scorpions there, but he found them.
Yep. And ate them, and then regurgitated them
onto another guy's neck.
The bad guy did this, by the way.
Yeah, the main bad guy. I don't remember his name for the life of me.
Neither do
he
I.
was kind
Bad
of
guy McBaggers.
They say it once.
Bad guy McVillenson.
Yeah.
He wasn't very important.
No, he wasn't. He was plot
just
device to kind of
creepy and evil, and that's all he needed to be.
He was,
So essentially, we get to a point where
he was a Snoke.
basically everyone's on their last life except for Martha.
Yeah, everyone's down.
I figured she was going to give one of her lives to Bravestone.
Right.
But, that didn't happen.
Oh, well, the other interesting thing that moment did, that I didn't realize it did, was it established the fact that you could die with the jewel and you would come back with the jewel.
Yeah.
Because Spencer had it when he was killed by the Jaguar, and that's the first thing they ask him when he comes back.
Yeah. Don't drop key items.
Right. When he comes back, they're like, "Do you still have the jewel?" It's like, "Yeah."
You don't drop loot, but
Super got it. But they do it twice in this movie.
Yeah. So that's how she. Yeah, that's how she knew she could do it.
Then we have this moment where Spencer kind of breaks down, and he's like, "I don't think I could do this. I only have one life left." And he's freaking out. And then Kevin's sort of the straight man, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna be fine.
We've always had
We've
one
only
life
ever
to
had
live.
one life. This is just how you live it."
Yeah.
Then I just quote the principle.
Yeah. And then he makes this cool football plan because he's the jock. That's what he has to relate everything back to.
Because they have to run from jaguars who are encroaching on them.
Yes. And so they figure this out, more or less. Homegirl beats up some more bad guys on motorcycles.
That was so great.
What's his bucket? Finbar uses his zoology to befriend an elephant.
Yeah, that was...
Bethany becomes the damsel in distress as a middle-aged man. And Pilot Guy distracts the Jaguars and outsmarts them.
Yeah.
Homeboy also outsmarts... Spencer outsmarts them again as well on the
with
motorcycle
a flamethrower
with the fire.
circling around them.
Yeah.
Trapping them.
Ridiculous.
Because kitties don't like fire.
No.
They wouldn't just jump over it.
They also don't like being thrown from an elephant.
Right? Yeah, because those things attack the elephant. I was like, ooh, no, they're about to shred his eyes out. Nobody just like shakes him off.
Nah, B, out of here.
I was like,
he got scared and ran away.
I'm too programmed for high level violence that I was like, this is about to get... This can't get that gnarly. This is a kid. This is made for kids, but apparently it's a PG-13 movie. So
yeah, they say profanities
a
few times actually.
It's like, wow, you bitch.
Right, that's cool. We have that little scuffle, and everybody kind of like spreads out, and they're at the Jaguar statue at this moment, and then their Bravestone is mountain climbing up with the dirt bike, which is a thing, by the way.
It was slanted enough. It was the back of the Jaguar statue was just enough of an incline, apparently.
Well, so there are
high-powered dirt bike could get.
There are actual mountain climbing dirt bikes, and these events are races that people do that. They modify dirt bikes and they extend the back wheel out real far, and they it's really jagged, so it can dig into the
makes sense.
The dirt and all that, and they have races of people.
Got ridiculous
really
horsepower.
It's a random fact.
It's ridiculous. I met someone who did that on my mission, and he told me about it. And he showed me some videos. And I was like, "This is the most insane thing I've ever seen."
White people are crazy.
White people are nuts, and that's what they do. But Anyways, so he's mountain climbing up on this dirt bike. This is the second time the jewel is dropped. Kevin Hart drops it from on top of the elephant into a pit of snakes. Homegirl, who's weak to venom, goes in, gets the jewel. And
he's confronted by the bad guy.
The bad guy's like, "Give me that jewel." And she's like, "Nah, B." And she steps on a snake and gets bitten by the snake.
On the kneecap, which I was like, "Ow."
Yeah, it looked bad. So she would immediately die and then spawn from the sky with jewel in hand.
Yes.
Jinx.
And she transferred while falling.
Indeed.
Into respawn, which was interesting.
And when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, he's got to catch her to save her."
Yeah, I thought he was going to catch her too.
But then I remembered that they've been falling from the sky the whole time.
Yeah. You survive your respawn fall.
No, she just passed the jewel off to him when he got up to the top, and he slammed it into the Jaguar head.
And then they're like, "What did we do now?"
Yeah, I was like,
we
say
said
the
it
name.
They were also with that. I like that they played into how annoying they found Nigel. They just kind of forgot everything he said.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, oh yeah, say the name because
as soon as he started repeating something, they got out of the car.
Because he makes it a point. He's like, "I'll repeat it for you in verse."
yes. And so they all yell Jumanji. And the world is saved. Was the bad guy, did he just like disappear?
Yeah,
he turned into rats.
That's right. That's right.
He kind of dissolved into rats.
He's the Rat King, and he died. That is true. And then Nigel pops up and is like, "Hey guys,
you beat the game.
You did it.
You can all go home.
I'll shake your hand now, and you can go away." And it's cool.
And he goes to shake everyone's hand.
And the little Spencer was like, "No, wait, we can stay here."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
And homegirl was like, "Nah, B, what is
terrible?
We live in a jungle.
Crazy.
We're gonna get out of here."
But I liked all their farewells to Nigel were pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like Jack Black when he kind of, for some reason, bowed to him. I'll miss you. What?
Oh, no. He was talking to his penis.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He was looking down. He was like, "Bye, buddy."
I thought he bowed to Nigel. No, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
I'm glad. Oh God.
I miss you.
That's so much better.
Yes, it's good.
Oh God. And then he goes to because Nigel has a little speech for everybody, and he goes to start it, and Kevin Hart's just like, "Get me out of here!
I'll miss you the most."
No, shake my hand, give me a home. Okay, it's good.
But yeah, then Spencer, the Rock character, he goes. He tries to convince Martha to stay in the game.
Here and be awesome. And she's like, "Nah, let's go home and be awesome." He's like,
and he was like, "Okay."
I'm glad they didn't. I was like, "Don't stay here."
That's one of the things that I found interesting. I was like, there weren't a lot of like pep talks. Like the pep talks were very weak. It's like, "You are a badass," and she was like, "Yeah."
Right.
It's good. I'm alright with that.
I'm pretty sure that was
short. Keep it quick.
That was really
just long enough for the violins to come in.
Yeah.
And then we're good. Just give me a little.
I did
bit.
kind of
that happened 3
draw
times.
that scene out. Like she goes home, he stands, and then like see all of them waiting for him. Like, oh, is he gonna come back? And but of course he came.
No.
But no, they didn't do that.
It was good. And then I like the way they wrapped up Alex's story.
Yeah, it spit him out back in the 90s.
Which was interesting because they did it the opposite way on the first movie. They actually went back in time for Robin Williams' character as a kid, and then they grew up and saw the kids as they are at that time, as opposed to going back to the future and Alex having grown up and stuff.
Did either of you watch Zathura?
I did.
Did that end in a similar way? Did they go back to whatever moment they started the game?
No, I don't. I think everything
that was
just
that
got
space
fixed.
Jumanji, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a spiritual sequel to Jumanji.
Weren't they based off books?
Yeah, it was.
A book? I think Zathura was as well.
Yeah, I know Zathura was.
By the same
I believe Jumanji maybe. I think that's why it was like sort of
These are the kind of things we should know, but we don't.
Yeah, we just got finished watching it. So.
Just tweet at us.
Yeah, Zathura was
if
alright.
you do know. Anyways, I like that they wrapped that up. I like that they got some closure. He got to talk to them, say, "Hey, thanks." We learned that.
Yeah, that was really
kid
to the heartwarming stuff.
Oh,
that was really
hit me in the feels.
Holy crap!
Both
this
times.
is. Woo.
He has a family now.
Indeed. Yeah, it's great. It's really cool.
Where's your wife at?
And then
she had just gotten out of the car.
They all got together. All the kids are happy. Then they crush the Jumanji game.
Yeah, they go back
with
to
a
school.
rhino bowling ball.
Because the drums start again.
And they hear it, and they're just like,
no.
Also, again, in case
curious
you
if
haven't
Jumanji
seen this
can
movie,
fix itself, though.
there's no after credit scene. However, at the very end of the credits, the music cuts and you hear the drums.
Yeah.
And you're like,
great.
oh, there's going to be something. And there's nothing.
Nope.
Yeah.
Little tease, but it was funny.
No
cool.
board game on a beach. Anything.
I'm curious if Jumanji can heal itself.
No.
That'd be...
Next, it's going to be VR.
You think?
No.
Still a
It
video.
was pretty much VR as it
That was
is.
as immersive as it can.
It was full dive already.
Yeah, you
so,
don't
like,
even need a headset.
That's the thing I want to talk about. What do we think is going to happen next? Do we want more Jumanji?
They're going to do another one.
Are they going to do another one with this set of people in this realm, in this vein? I kind of don't want it.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody will want it, but Sony's like, oh, money, you know.
Yeah, they just made a killing off
They made
this
a bunch
movie.
of money off of this, so
Critically acclaimed too. Like people are just loving this movie.
Yeah.
Let me double check what this
It
is.
probably wouldn't be too hard to convince the cast to come back.
No, and they could do it as different kids.
I guess so. Yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
It
That is true. That's a good point. They could have different kids play these same characters. What I would honestly like to see is wait another 10, 20 years, do an origin. Show me how Jumanji became Jumanji.
That would
I wouldn't be mad about
why
that.
it exists.
I'm curious.
Is there some crazy witch doctor who lives in Jumanji that made a game and like sent it to our dimension? Like, does Jumanji need people to play it in order to survive?
What's the lore?
Why?
Ethan?
Yeah. Why
What's the lore?
Why does Jumanji want to be played?
I mean, that might be in the if there's a book, Jumanji.
Like, I'm not gonna read stuff. Give me a movie.
Stuff.
I read manga. Is there a Jumanji
Is there a
manga?
Let's see. There was a book. Yeah, the book was originally released in 1981.
Jesus.
Cool.
And then the first movie was 95. So some of that might be explained in that book.
Maybe. I don't know.
I would prefer visually seeing.
I agree. That's perfectly fine. But yeah,
People need to read more. Read, people. Eddie,
let's predict the
you
plot.
we used to work at a bookstore.
Well, yeah, that's the reason I
Advocate
don't read
free.
anymore because I hate
Oh,
my life.
God.
Working around books.
Come on, I worked there for like a month. I still like reading.
I worked there for 6 years.
Oh God, no, Eddie.
I hated books, and I'm gonna get back in reading though.
Yeah.
I mean slowly, but like the pain there.
I'll make you read
like when
something
you work
for
around
fun.
something for so long,
Right.
It's like, ugh.
I can imagine.
I work around
I want
people.
to burn
No, I hate
books
people.
now.
I hate people. Yeah.
Nah,
That's just kind of me.
Set fire to
So,
the
like, what do we think a sequel would be? In light of the fact that this has made $700 million and will likely see a sequel within the next few years, what's it gonna be?
I think they might. I wouldn't be mad about how the game was created, because feasibly, I guess it would.
Well, let's say they don't. Let's
place
say
in,
let's say they do what you did, what you were thinking, and they have the same characters come back for another video game version of this.
And just different kids play it.
Maybe.
And then
or would they have these same people play it as adults?
Probably, because The Rock sells tickets.
Yeah.
The Rock is
I mean,
arguably
those
the
characters could be
biggest.
the same, but I mean, are the kid characters going to come back?
No, different
children
kids
coming
is
back?
what I would imagine, because they're not going to touch that thing ever again. Even if it somehow like repaired itself.
I bet. Ooh.
That's not picking up on the.
Oh yeah. What?
I don't know where they would go though. Like they can't do the same plot.
Obviously. I bet they would take it. They would take it from a video game to an online video game.
Oh,
to a massive
an MMO.
multiplayer.
Ooh,
yeah.
That would be interesting.
I imagine that's where it would go. And I imagine that will probably also depend on the success of Ready Player One.
True.
I'm very curious about that one. Like I never read the book, so it wasn't a big part of my childhood. I haven't read the book either,
and I kind of really want to. I mean, the book wasn't really a childhood thing. The book's pretty recent.
But a lot of people have talked about how they read the book or when they were younger, I guess. But
yeah, in high school it was like required reading or something, or it was like on the required reading list as much as
that was a while back enough to where enough people have read it, but
and
I never had to read it.
Do a book report on it.
Like I never read Ender's Game or anything like that. I was always more into reading just plenty of Star Wars books, and then just like Harry Potter, of course.
Harry Potter.
And then all kinds of manga.
I read John Grisham.
The childhood lawyer.
It was worth a lot of AR points. So I was like,
oh yeah, God, I remember. Oh man,
yeah.
I read that. Can't remember the name of the Left Behind series. So many AR points. That's why I read it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Nah,
You know me. I'm not even religious, but like there was a surprising amount of action in those books. So I was like, you know what?
I read Anne McCaffrey books as well.
Yeah, I was mad that Harry Potter wasn't on there because I could have done it without cheating. They took him off. They took Harry Potter off the accelerated reader, so you couldn't cheat.
Yep, essentially, yeah.
It's shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Especially at Baton Rouge High. We all read those books.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think they might do that. I think
MMO would be cool.
Thing.
Like being trapped in the MMO world, as so many of the animes do
but
at
then,
the moment.
They'd probably get called out for ripping off Ready Player One.
True.
No, I mean, it depends on how you go about it. Because Ready Player One is just...
You go in willingly. You're not trapped.
From Ready Player One, yeah, that is also accurate, yeah. But it just looks like it's just... This is a game... This is a movie that is fan service for anyone who's ever watched a movie ever.
Yeah.
Or played a game ever.
Yeah.
Because there's references to everything.
It's freaking Tracer from Overwatch. I'm still...
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Dang, they went real recent with it.
It surprised me. I was like, that's probably not going to be relevant at this point in time.
Yeah, they apparently updated some of the Easter eggs for
I
like
imagine
the
they just
references
did.
for
They
movies.
were just like any pop thing we can actually get licensed to put on this.
Spielberg is directing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, any studios can be like, you know what?
Come on down. They're like,
take my trademark.
Yeah, that's what it was for. That's what it was.
It's a quick glance. Like there's a few things like the motorcycle from Akira, that's in there. Just sweet.
I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be cool.
I agree. I think
I would love an Akira movie. Everyone talks. It's like, oh, they can't make a good anime movie, but Jordan Peele has expressed interest in wanting to make it, and
I feel like
just got nominated for Best Director because of Get Out. Or was it nominated? Or was
I feel like there was some news recently about someone wanting to do. Or
Jordan Peele. It was like about a year or so ago, but he had expressed interest in wanting to do an Akira movie. I'm gonna give it to him because Get Out is fantastic, and if he wants to break into sci-fi, let him
do it.
Because
I would watch it.
Huge nerd.
Yeah, I would too. Anyhow, that's Jumanji, guys. It was good. It was really good. It's worth your time. Go see it.
So much fun.
Oh.
Very good.
Anyways, let us know how you felt about the movie. If you are surprised that it's making $700 million, or if that makes total sense to you, let us know what you think about a sequel. What's going to happen? What are we going to do? Are we going to see the same characters? Is it going to be MMO? All these different things. Let us know if you have a cool idea for it. You can tweet us. On Twitter, we are at TNYKPod. On Facebook, it's Those Nerds You Know. You can find the pod on YouTube, on, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Castbox, a lot of different places that you can listen to podcasts. You will find us. Drop us a line, let us know. Our email is thosenerdsyouknowpod@gmail.com. But once again, thank you so much for listening. My name is Ethan.
My name is Michael.
I'm Eddie.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Bye.